So this is the perfect expert. Really?
Dr. Cardillo, I can't say it enough. You're always our go-to doctor. You're perfect in this situation.
Hi, I'm Alan Berry. This is another episode of Expert Dig. This is where we investigate experts and we try to learn from their public performances. Today, we take a dig at Dr. Anthony Cardillo, who appeared on ABC7 Eyewitness News in Southern California. In an NFL game between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills, defensive back Damar Hamlin took a hit while successfully executing a tackle. Initially, the play looked normal for the sport. It looked like just another football collision. But as you can see, Hamlin fell to the field. His condition was unfortunately life-threatening. Play was stopped while an ambulance and staff attended the injured player. The incident was so disturbing that the entire game was stopped, and Hamlin received national news attention for several days. Fortunately for Hamlin and his family, it appears that he's making a full recovery. We hope so, and we wish him well. We focus on this event, of course, because we want to point out a few things about expertise and expert performance. Immediately after this tragic event, we knew that one expert after another was going to be carted before the cameras and interviewed by news personalities. It was an absolute certainty. Within 24 hours, there were scores of medical experts talking about Hamlin's injury and, of course, his subsequent condition. For today's dig, we target one such physician, although there are scores of them that we could choose from. We pick on Dr. Cardillo in part because an experienced reporter, David Ono, said he was, quote, perfect. Perfect. Really? Let's take a look.
What are you able to tell from that little bit of video?
Certainly, David. Well, what we can tell is that the event was most probably secondary to that hit. There are other episodes where athletes are running, they're exerting themselves, and will have a ventricular arrhythmia secondary to a hypertrophic or enlarged heart. That's different. This was traumatic.
Okay, so in just a few seconds, we learn a lot about this expert. He loves his medical vocabulary, and with good reason. Strong vocabulary is not just precise and unambiguous. Maybe more than anything else, vocabulary signals expertise. All industries, all professions, all domains have unique vocabulary. Experts in those domains must have mastery of their own jargon. Demonstrating mastery of domain-specific language is the quickest way I know of to exhibit competence in a field. If a professional does not command the vocabulary of their domain, then they will not be considered expert and their opinions will be easily dismissed. So in this way, Dr. Cardillo is establishing himself as an expert, which reporters who interview him love. Dr. Cardillo sounding credible makes the reporters look and sound credible simply by association.
This was traumatic. And we see that hit happened in that upper chest area. And there are a couple of things that could happen under this scenario. The first to think about, obviously, is the spinal cord injury. It doesn't seem like that's what happened here. Because when you have a spinal cord injury that does injure acutely that cervical spine, you don't get back up. You're on the floor and you'll stay on the floor. He was able to get back up. That leads us to believe this was more of a cardiac injury.
The next thing I notice about Dr. Cardillo is that he's intentionally walking the viewers through his own diagnostic process, explaining why some conditions are not applicable. It also goes a long way towards establishing credibility and confidence. He said it probably wasn't a hypertrophic heart. It probably wasn't a spinal cord injury. Walking your audience through your well-structured, rational, diagnostic process is highly credible and generally appreciated and applauded. Now, all this being said, domain-specific vocabulary and diagnostic enumerations can be exhausting if they're taken to an extreme. Like so many other dimensions of expertise and expert performance, we are looking for the golden mean. Too much mumbo jumbo is bad. Too little is bad as well. Too much diagnostic detail is bad. Too little diagnostic detail is also bad. We are looking for the perfect positive balance between two negative extremes, not enough or too much. That is the golden mean. Finally, it can be highly discrediting when experts make claims that are either not true or simply cannot be verified. In this case, Dr. Cardillo said
he had no pulse when he hit the ground.
Hamlin had no pulse when he hit the ground.
He had no pulse when he hit the ground.
What? How does he possibly know that? I don't think he could know that. This is just a guess, or maybe it's just a turn of phrase. Maybe this is Dr. Cardillo's way of saying that Hamlin lost his pulse really quickly, not actually before he hit the ground. But I have no way of knowing if he was exaggerating or guessing or not. We can only take him at his word. When experts make declarations that are truly just guesses or exaggerations, it brings into question all of the rest of their assertions. So great experts use an appropriate quantity of domain-specific vocabulary. When offering a diagnosis, they explain why some possibilities can be eliminated and why others might be embraced. Great experts strike the appropriate balance between too much information and too little. And they don't make declaratory statements that they cannot justify. Is Dr. Cardillo the perfect expert? Well, I think he did pretty well, but in my opinion, not quite perfect. Maybe next time. I'm Alan Berry from Expert Dig. Thanks for joining me.